Hi everyone, Larry Satchwell here. Just looking through my 101 birdhouses and feeders that you can make. My grandmother gave me this back in high school. She knew we both had an interest in bird watching. Mine really didn't develop fully until the pandemic. But this is a 1967 publication and I graduated in 1970. And she wanted me to make some of these. And I had a few woodworking tools at the time, but not very many. I was just looking through here and saw a suet cage, and I thought that was pretty clever. So I've been saving chopsticks because I'm going to make this out of scrap wood and chopsticks. I have 12 of them. So to get started, I just cut these square, roughly sanded them, not much. And I'm going to start by putting them both together so I can work with both of them at the same time. And to do that, I'm going to put some tape on it right out here at the edge. And I'll do that to both sides. So to do this, I'm just going to put a little, this is gap filling CA glue. I'm going to put some on that piece and some on this piece. Super glue is what this is. And the dollar store sells it. I use more than a little bit, so I usually buy it in these bigger containers. I also keep it in the freezer, which works real well. This is an accelerator, so I'm going to put that on this side. Doesn't take much. And then I'm going to carefully try to align these. I want to make sure I've got the right side up. Yeah. In case they're not exactly square. I want to align those just like that. Now, so that's easy to come off. I'm also going to put tape on this piece all the way across. So now I've got tape all the way across here. I want to find the center line. So I went to the internet and found a clock face, and I have 12 chopsticks. There's 12 marks on a clock. Makes it easy. So I'm going to punch a hole there. That way I can line it up here. So then I'll spray. This is 3M number 45 general glue. Try to line that up as best I can. I think that's where it belongs. A little more on this side. Doesn't take a lot. Now this particular clock face also had these indentations here. Now I can do one of two things. I can go right there on the line, or I can go at the end of the line. Since mine seems to be quite a bit away from the edges here, I think I'll just go right where the two intersect and get a starter hole on each one of those. Now my wife gave me this little doodad one year for Christmas. It helps you drill down straight. Now I've determined that I need a 13, what was that? 1364 is really tight, so I'm going to use a 7/32. But the mine taper here, yours may not. I've marked it off so that when this goes through, it's just going to go through the top of the next one. because I want to drill a little bit of a smaller hole for that tapered end. And for that one, I will use a 13/64. Now, the closest thing to this is a 1/4 inch, but I'm going to start that in my hole. So I'll change out drill bits. And I've got this one marked so that it will not quite go through the bottom. Now that I have all the holes drilled, I can take all of this off of here. And because I used that painter's tape, it just peels right off. The painter's tape does such a great job, you might have to use a putty knife or something to break apart the other piece. Now, one thing I wished I would have done before I took those apart was to make sure I had the same sides, and I'm pretty sure I do. I'm just going to mark the orientation here. Now, these are a little rough, so I'm going to take my sandpaper and clean those up. So the pointy end will go down here, and the other end in here. Now, it's real important not to glue a couple of these, because you want to make sure that you can get the suet ball in here. I'm going to set 2 aside so I don't glue those in. And I'm going to put some Titebond 3 here in this yogurt cup. This is an outdoor project. It should last several years. This bamboo is pretty durable. So I'll dip each one in there. I've got some butcher paper, actually, some freezer paper on the bottom here so they don't stick through. And making sure I've got the skinny end up, I'll just go around and glue these in. Now, I'm a little concerned that if I leave this like this, I'm not going to be able to maneuver all of these in. It's going to be difficult as it is. So I'm going to get my bottom, get my orientation mark. That needs to go right there. I don't want to glue this paper here. I've got a little, it looks like a 6-penny nail here. It's this one and this one that gets no glue. Now, I can assure you this is going to be the most difficult part of the project. Trying to line these up. Try to start here and just work my way around. That wasn't too bad. Now I want to turn the whole thing over. Well, these are in here so tight that I don't think I need to clamp it. But Titebond 3 is a long curing glue, so I'm going to leave it here overnight. Come back in the morning. Well, it dried overnight and it looks a little cattywampus. But I don't think the birds will care. The last thing I need to do is to find a way to hang it. I'm going to drill a little hole right here in the center. And then I'm going to use the tool Michael gave me to drive this in. It's my favorite way to drive things in, so it just pokes through the bottom. Well, it didn't poke through the bottom, but I think that's on there really good. Got a little chain here. Again, I'm not sure what it's off of. Been hanging around the shop for a while. Clamp that on. And there we go. So I can open it up here and put some suet balls in here. Looks like it'll hold quite a few. You don't want to put too many in because you don't want the things to spoil. Now, if you don't have suet balls and you want to feed suet balls, you can always make your own suet ball. Before I make a suet ball here, I'm going to see if that whole thing wouldn't fit in there, because it looks like it might. Yeah, it sure does. So if you didn't want to go to the trouble of making a suet ball, that's going to fit in there. But it's not hard. I like to put gloves on here because this is a mess. And I haven't heated this or anything. I'm just going to make a snowball. Just with the heat of my hands. This is very movable. This is the bulk from Ace. So I got one. It's a cold, blistery day. It started off at 55 at midnight last night, but it's already, a front came through and it's already in the 40s and going to drop down to 27 tonight. Now, I never put a bird feeder on YouTube that I have not tested. So I'm going to go hang this and see how the birds like it. Keep getting my gloves caught in this chain. And as always, I'll put the video of the birds if they like it. If they don't, you'll never see this. Thanks for watching. Come back again. The Suet Cage.